Hi guys, this is Aditya Arora here, your far guy, back with another brand new video. I'm sure you must have googled on how you can start a startup, but do you know what is lean startup methodology? I'm sure you must have googled that too. Well, don't worry, I'm here today to explain you what is lean startup methodology. So without further ado, let's get started. Entrepreneurs dedicate months and sometimes even years to launch their dream product in the market. They expect that once the product is in the market, customers would love it and would start hoarding it. But as we know, this rarely happens. But why? The answer is because the product was based on entrepreneurs' assumptions and did not have data validations from the specific target segment. This is where a lean startup method comes in. But what is a lean startup method? I'll tell you. A lean startup method is a scientific way to get specific user feedback from your target segment. A lean startup method helps you to put a foundation so that you can avoid product learning mistakes. The method very clearly draws the difference between startups and traditional businesses. It focuses on innovations rather than established business models. Lean startup method targets the data from specific target segment and validates whether the customers need the product or not. And yes, this method helps in saving both time and money. Let me help you explain with an example. You must have heard of Dropbox. Dropbox is one of the world's leading file transfer service. It has more than 500 million users worldwide. But Dropbox started out as a 3-minute screencast when it launched, showing the people what the true potential of Dropbox could be in coming times. So yes, Dropbox is one of the perfect examples of a startup that has grown using the lean startup principles. Now let us dig deeper into the 5 principles of lean startup methodology. First, entrepreneurs are everywhere. It does not matter if you work from your office or from a basement, from a 5-star hotel or from a playground. As long as you can work and you want to save time and resources, go for the lean startup principles. Second, entrepreneurship is a management. Just like any other business, entrepreneurship also needs management. A startup does not need management in the conventional hierarchy or protocol-based style, but they do need to manage the risk and the opportunity that comes along with it. Third, validated learning. Have you identified the problem that you're trying to solve? Can you solve it in the best manner possible? If not, then can you adapt to the changes? Lean startup method is focused on building sustainable businesses through validated learnings. And how do you validate your learnings? You validate it by test, experiments, getting the results of your product, and also making future decisions based on current relevant data. Fourth, innovation accounting. It is imperative that entrepreneurs monitor their progress objectively, set up milestones, and also validate the learnings that we discussed in the previous point. All of this helps in creating the best possible product which is out there for your consumers. Fifth, build, measure, and learn. This is the most important aspect of the lean startup method. This basically helps us to get validated learnings through a famous concept called minimum viable product or MVP. Let us understand this further. As we know, the first aspect is build. Build your first MVP or the minimum viable product and get it to customers. Design your experiment by collecting relevant data from accurate sources. Build the experiment and reject the hypothesis that does not get counted in your initial experiment. Once the data gets collected, entrepreneurs measure this data real time. They analyze the data obtained from different sources of the experiment. They make a comparative analysis on what you hypothesized and to the real-time results. It's also imperative that we organize the data in a crystal clear format and also present it well so that meaningful deductions can be made out. Based on the data, we learn about different customers' experience and preference, and therefore an entrepreneur further decides whether the product needs to be upgraded or needs to be scrapped altogether. And that is where we come with the concept of preserve or pivot. Preserve means continuing with the same goals, while a pivot means changing some or all portions of your product strategy. This is where a startup grows ahead and learns from the real-time results that the customers give them in different experiments and feedback. So this was the build, measure, learn, feedback. A good entrepreneur recognizes the learnings from this loop and repeats this cycle over and over and over again. But don't worry, I'll also help you explain this via an example. So consider a mobile app gets launched. They come up with a business model and they come up with a strategy to grow in the market. This is the build format. The second aspect talks about measure. Now in this example, the mobile app would get feedback from their customers and get surveys as to what the app should look like and what features should the app have. This is the measure part. The third part is called learn. In learn, we utilize the learnings and data what we collected in the build and measure part, and we make the changes accordingly if any. And this cycle is also repeated again and again to constantly grow in the market and to make the best possible product for your customer. After this cycle, you validate your MVP and business model even further. And once you've validated that, you would have gone through several cycles of build, measure, learn, feedback loop. And once you are operational, there's nothing stopping you from grow. After all, this model is all about getting you to grow and scale rapidly. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. And if there are any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Till then, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a video. Till then, it's your fart guy signing off.